Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership 101, our newest podcast where we feature some of our most admired leaders. The intent, if you ask me, is to get to know them better, both as people as well as leaders. Our very first guest on the podcast today is Mr. Vishal Badshah, Vice President, Operations, Tata Motors Commercial Vehicle Business. Welcome, Vishal, to Leadership 101. So we have a set of questions, but before we get into that, I thought let's start by asking you something, to do with more about you as a person and something if you could share about yourself, which let's say the majority of people do not know about.
So I've been a lifer at Tata Motors, and in the recent past, I've been driving digital transformation, sustainability in manufacturing, as well as trying to build teams which are capable to be future ready, as well as have diversity, equity, and inclusivity in the whole process. Now, the question that you have asked is difficult, but I will attempt to answer. As an individual, whenever I get free time, I like to drive, go to different parts of the towns and places. I love traditional food, so I don't miss an opportunity to taste any of the traditional food that's there in that region. I also love to play golf.
Thank you. So here goes my first question to you. What is risk-taking to you?
Yeah, to me, Amrita, risk-taking is all about embracing the unknown. In our manufacturing landscape, it's about how we transition from the traditional manufacturing systems to digital, IoT-based, how we get into software-defined manufacturing. I think this is helping us to take risks, calculated risks, develop teams around it so that we can be future ready. With this, I think risk-taking also helps in building a very strong team with the ability to handle complex challenges. It also builds in smarter, flexible, and customer-focused manufacturing systems.
Absolutely wonderful. How do you facilitate and manage change in order to be future ready?
The first thing that I feel, Amrita, is that we should first understand that the customer needs are evolving and how we bring it back to our manufacturing processes and systems. How do we become AI first? How do we really evolve into a smart manufacturing setup? How do we build our teams so that they are able to really move into the future much more confident? I think these are some things which make us future ready. And for that, we are actually driving 8 key themes around Industry 4 and digital transformation journey, as well as we have around 9 planks which are transforming our manufacturing landscape for the future. With this, we are confident that we are driving change as well as enabling our teams to become more capable to take on the challenges which are going to come in the future.
So Vishal, you spoke about being ready for the future, but the essence to this is developing the right teams. So what would be the insights that you can share with our managers for developing their teams in order to be ready for the future?
Yes, Amrita, I think I would say there are 3 important aspects which I feel are very important. The first one is how do we enable our teams, how we make them capable, competent, train them, give them challenging assignments like, we have GEMS. Similarly, some other cross-functional assignments, projects where they can unleash their potential, they can learn quickly. I think that is the first step. So the more we provide the teams the opportunity, I think they will get nurtured and they will get developed for the future. Second important aspect I feel is building digital mindset. It's the need of the hour. Everyone in the organization has to learn and embrace this change which is coming us. And this will help in building a very strong foundation for the future. So building a very strong digital backbone as well as digital mindset, digital solutions, AI first, smart manufacturing solutions would be, I think, the second important pillar for building and managing teams. Third important would be how we are empathetic, how we give them the leg room, the elbow room to actually try and experiment. I would say let them dare to try. They may fail, but then we should give them that opportunity to experiment, to learn through experimentation. So, Amrita, these are the aspects which are very important to help build our teams and make our organization future ready.
Great insight, Vishal. So, if I were to ask you further, what has been your mantra for driving all round excellence?
So, in my perspective, I would say that I like to keep things simple. In driving this excellence journey, I've tried to see that I understand the transformation, the team understands the transformation that is needed, digitize it, build digital solutions around it, and empower them. I think this is the three focus areas by which every improvement or continuous improvement journey has been cascaded. But to look at my perspective further to it is, I follow three principles. The first one is snowball, second one is fireball, and third one is eyeball. So the snowball means you start as a pilot and roll it across the organization so that there is a standardization, everyone learns it faster and adapts it faster. Fireball is building strong teams with the fire in the belly so that they can do things and these changes much faster. And eyeball is keeping one eye at the present and the second eye on the future. I think these are the mantras by which the change has been driven in the manufacturing landscape.
It's an interesting take, and the way that you've explained it, beautiful. So Vishal, we heard you speak about transformational change, and we are on this journey today. For people who are watching us, what would you recommend are the traits that we need to adopt going further on this journey?
So I would say the first, one of the important traits would be to build collaboration. And it should be very focused. It should be not within the organization, but also with the external ecosystem. How do we collaborate with startups? How do we learn from them? How do we build a mindset which is sort of a startup culture so that we are able to transform at a much faster pace? The second important aspect I would say is building curiosity in our teams, how they question the unknown, how they keep abreast with the future technologies, and also have resilience in building a mindset where there is a dare to try attitude in team members. They are empowered and then they can experiment a lot. I think these are the traits which would help us to build a much more flexible, agile ecosystem.
Interesting. I heard you speak on startup. I heard you mention dare to try mindset. But what could managers do differently, Vishal, in order to encourage their teams to think differently, to experiment, and also maybe it's okay to fail?
So I would say that, the managers have to, as we talked in the beginning, have to take calculated risks. They will have to, give opportunity to the Gen Z, to the millennials, to the younger teams so that they can experiment, they can try new solutions, think differently, as well as they get opportunity to collaborate within the ecosystem. I think these are some of the aspects which would help individuals to get a platform where they get trained, build competencies, and then help the organization to move faster.
So when we look back on you having been a part of Tata Motors for over 3 decades now, and so many changes that you have yourself seen. It would have been easy for anyone else to become part and parcel of this system. But what we are seeing you do differently is drive change day in and day out. So in an era of, I would say, alternate fuels, what is the fuel that keeps you going?
Yeah, so I would say it's the energy that I get from my teams who are ready to embrace the change. I think that's the first point. They bring a lot of energy in our discussions, a lot of diverse views and thinking, and this has enabled us to continuously evolve and change the manufacturing landscape. I would say that from the traditional way of thinking, now people and the team members are questioning what we are doing differently. Are we in the right track? They are trying to question the unquestioned. I would say, let's look at, my favorite Levin's theorem, which talks about the ice cube, which was in a square shape, melts and then again takes a new form. It can be a pyramid. When such type of changes happen, people have to unlearn, relearn, and embrace the change that is happening. And I fully admire my teams. I'm proud of them that they have been able to do it very, very effectively. They have supported this change and also have been the brand ambassadors of this change across the manufacturing ecosystem.
Interesting perspective. So we've heard you speak about becoming future ready. We've heard you talk about the transformational change, the journey that we are on. All of these aspects, all of these which you have beautifully captured. But if I were to ask you, for anyone, let's say, who's joining the organization today, or maybe is a long timer in this organization, and there was a message, a single message that you wanted to give everyone, what would that message be?
I would say that Tata Motors has a strong fundamentals driven by Tata values and has always been a pioneer in innovation, both in products and processes. The most important thing that has kept this journey going and moving at a faster pace is its ability to allow young teams to innovate, to experiment, and dare to try. This gives the confidence to the teams to take on bigger responsibilities and take on the challenges that are going to come in the future.
Wonderful to have your perspective there, Vishal. That was a lovely conversation. Thank you so much, Vishal.
Thank you, Amrita.
But it's not over yet. We have a rapid fire coming your way. These are some pointed questions which people have shared with us with the idea and the intent to get to know you better as a person. So with your permission, I'll go to these questions.
Sure.
So the first question coming your way, cook, eat out or order in?
Cook. I love cooking.
Great. Coffee person or tea person?
Tea, black tea.
Morning person or evening person?
Early morning.
Favorite sport to watch?
Tennis. I love Federer.
Favorite sport to play?
Badminton, tennis and golf.
A movie that you can watch any number of times?
Mission Impossible.
A superpower that you would want?
Teleportation.
Interesting. The number of languages that you speak?
3.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what's that?
LinkedIn.
Okay, great. The city that you have lived the longest in?
Jamshedpur, where Tata Motors mother plant started.
Absolutely, great. As a kid, you were?
I would say talkative and sporty.
Wow. What has changed the most since you started working here?
It is digital transformation.
If not for this, which other profession would you have taken up?
Maybe defense or opened a small company.
Wow, okay, great. What is your hack for ensuring personal productivity?
First, I would say time management and empowering my teams.
3 things that you have learned from Gen Z or millennials?
I would say inclusivity and diversity, the ability to ask questions, as well as they're very quick to learn.
How do you prepare for the next big challenge?
I would say first is to anticipate what's coming up. Second is build teams who can dare to try and empower them to take the risks so that they can actually take on the challenge upfront.
And my final question to you, what keeps you inspired?
I would say innovation, unlocking the potential of teams by continuously mentoring them, developing a digital mindset, as well as, being ready for the future. I think this always keeps me motivated and inspired.
Wonderful. So some wonderful answers that we've got from you, Vishal. So thankful to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us on
Thank you,
Leadership
Amrita.
101. Thank you.
Amrita.